Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John, coming to you today with Kaiser, who's here on the couch, to talk to you about a few things that are going on with inside our new administration and so on and so on. So the Trump derangement syndrome is alive and well among mainstream media, as it has always been. And they're going to try to go after every nuance and every word that's uttered and make a big deal about nothing. So you feel that you may have made a wrong decision in what you're doing. Well, let me just clarify one thing for you right now. In my eyes, I've already seen more happiness and more steadfast application of common sense into the government so far in every step he's made. And one of the biggest steps I watched last night when he had the Roosevelt Room with 3 individuals in there that have pledged a $500 billion into the infrastructure for AI in this country. And it will be held close to the vest, and he will be an American company. And we're back, folks. We're back bigger than ever. And we know, and he knows and understands, because of the people he has surrounded himself with, that the infrastructure for the birth of AI, for everything from medicine to your well-being, will be attended to by people who have the wherewithal to do it. And we now have the commitment of a influx of money and jobs through the application of this new center that they, I believe, will be putting into the state of Texas. But we're talking about 100,000 jobs and a breach into a new field of AI that is going to be the next big explosion in the world today, but it'll be led with Donald Trump's help by America and American companies that will have the wherewithal to get this stuff into mainstream business and medicine where we need it the most. If you watched that briefing last night, and if you watched the open area question and answer that he provided with this presser that went along with it, you'll notice real quickly that he doesn't take any guff from these reporters trying to throw up a gotcha question or an ignorant question, looking for him to defend it. He just laughs at them. Finally, somebody realizes the clowns that paper media and mainstream media has sent out to inform you of what's supposed to be the news. We do not have investigative reporters there. We do not have real journalists telling you what you should believe. And we certainly don't have anybody from the View that we could take seriously, other than a lawsuit put against them for libel because they lie with abandon and give you false hopes, false information, and more fear and division that we don't need in this country right now. Which brings us to what the media is raging about now. We're talking about their displeasure for some of the executive orders that were put through. But the big news this morning with some of these characters is about the birthright, removal of the birthright law. And, of course, I'm going to let you just take a look at what some people are trying to inform you of.
Hush up, boy.
All right. Well, Trump also moved swiftly
on two other things here. He, as we mentioned, made anti-DEI federal policy official, and he moved to make two genders the official standpoint of the government, which really shocking to hear.
Wait a minute.
And he moved to make two genders the official standpoint of the government, which really shocking to hear.
You are the biggest loser in the world.
What do you think the impact of that will be?
I think it's going to harm a lot of young people, especially. Yeah. This is supposed to be an inclusive country. This is supposed to be a place where if you that you get to choose your identity. And if that identity is they or them, if that identity is, if you were born a biological male, but you are a woman, then you get to do that here. If you were born a biological male, but you are a woman, then you get to do that here.
You shouldn't be here. Please.
It's amazing they're just not going to get over the fact that Donald Trump is done more in 3 days than 4 years of Biden-Harris has ever thought about doing. Of course, they weren't awake or paying attention long enough to have done anything except open the keys to the country and hand them to anyone that wanted them. So we have that, which will be going on for quite some time now, because they're just going to keep pounding on Trump, and they have Schumer that is going to carry the flag again against the nominees that Donald Trump has put up for his cabinet. And they pushed through Rubio because they had to. He's one of theirs. They know they can't come up with anything about it, but they do not like the incoming new, younger people that will hold their feet to the fire with regard to the Constitution as written and the laws of the land that have been stomped on for 4 years, and even more if you include the Obama administration. So one of the other bones of contention that we have to put up with is General Milley, who got his pardon from Joe, that has no favor with Donald Trump, and they were in great fear that Donald Trump would hold him to a treasonous act that he pulled by going around his back the last time directly to China to inform them of our military plans. Well, here, just take a look at this.
First of all, on the issue of critical race theory, et cetera, I'll obviously have to get much smarter on whatever the theory is. But I do think it's important, actually, for those of us in uniform to be open-minded and be widely read. And the United States Military Academy is a university, and it is important that we train and we understand, and I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it.
Well, tonight, the president and the Pentagon are defending the nation's top military officer after bombshell revelations that he reached out to China, fearing a war in the final days of the Trump administration.
General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, is facing calls from some Republicans to resign after two veteran reporters wrote that in the tumultuous closing days of the Trump presidency, Milley secretly reassured the Chinese, "We are not going to attack." Milley
secretly reassured the Chinese, "We are not going to attack."
It's treason.
then.
Milley also warned senior military officials in January not to take orders from anyone unless he was involved.
And we are seeing things change across Washington this afternoon. And here's one of them. You may have seen this portrait of General Mark Milley. It was unveiled just a few weeks ago in the Pentagon. And notably, there is what we're showing you is where that portrait has been taken down from the Pentagon. As Donald Trump came to power, we're told that the portrait of the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff was removed. Highly unusual for a man who served 40 years in the U.S. military. But General Milley got on the wrong side of Donald Trump, and as a result, President Biden issued a pardon for Milley today to warn against any future protection. And Margaret, I know you've spoken with the general. I've interviewed him for 60 Minutes and spoken with him recently as well. He was very worried about his own personal safety and worried about retribution.
Milley has never been a fan of mine in any way, shape, or form. And most people that got to watch his actions in his role are probably of the like mind. They don't care for some of the things that he pulled, especially his kowtowing to the DEI in the military and so on and so on. But I'm not going to go into that today. But the big upset, I think the most upsetting part to some of the mainstream media has been the fact that the law of the land is now that there's just two genders, male and female, and the blue-haired people with the pussy hats are not happy at all about that. So we'll hear more and more from the rainbow people before too long, I'm sure. And some of the media is carrying that as well. It's time to depart fantasy land and get back to reality in what is real, in what this nation needs to be on top of the heap one more time with regard to education, and bring into this country the people that are educated and want to add to our society and to our greatness, because there are a lot of smart people around the world that we could use in place of people that are just brought in to pick crops or so on and so on. We like immigration, but we like to decide who we like to come in to our country and what the criteria should be. Not just open the gates and say, y'all come on in, because that didn't work. We watched what happened and what could ensue from it happening for the last 4 years. So if you haven't learned by now about illegal immigration, you need to start paying attention, because you're going to see more and more about it in the days to come, the weeks to come, and the years to come. So we're going to bring this country back to the shining light on the hill that we once were and will be again. And hope and change is run up the flagpole right now, and it's topmast. So we're going to go along, unite as a country, unite as citizens, and unite under the banner of God that this country was founded upon. And with that, we're all going to be that much better off. Prices will come down. It's going to take time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and Rome was not destroyed in 4 years. It took a little longer, but the destruction had been started and now has to be cleaned up. And we are cleaning as we speak, and we're looking forward to 4 years of greatness and 4 years of people that want to be in this country to add their expertise, their education, and their citizenship will be admitted to them as needed. It's been a long, dark 4 years.
Today, I affirm the Equal Rights Amendment to have cleared all the necessary hurdles to be added to the U.S. Constitution now.
He's a clown, honestly.
The Equal Rights Amendment is the law of the land now. It's the 28th Amendment to the Constitution now.
He caught what? What does it say it again?
Past. We don't want to dwell in that darkness anymore. We're going to run toward the light, and that is a good thing in this situation, because the light is our salvation, and it's here. And let's pay attention instead of trying to run down every word someone utters. Now, with that, I have to say, and I'm sure some of you are out there going, oh my God, he talks too much. Yes, he does. But he gets your attention, and he got the world's attention, and he got our citizens to pay attention during this last election and protected the election process that had been fooled with in the past. And it was too important and too big for them to cheat this time. And you see the results, and you were part of the results. And the reason is we watched every move that was made on either side of the aisle in this election interference that we witnessed in 2020. And we witnessed them trying to use it, including lawfare, in this election. It didn't work because we, the people, the citizens of the United States who had the right to vote, made the decision that they had enough, and enough is enough. And now we want to turn the corner and back a president that has our good faith at heart and loves this country and is not in a vein to destroy any part of the Constitution the way it was written. So Godspeed, Donald J. Trump, and your entire cabinet. And from us here at the Kaiser Report, it's Wednesday. It's bitter cold here. It was in a single digit this morning when we awoke, and we're hoping to stay warm for the day. And Kaiser and I are going to probably get out for a little bit of a walk today if we can. And most of the ice is subsided, and there's still a little smattering of snow on the ground, but there's no precipitation in this area of Appalachia today, tomorrow, or Saturday. And it's going to be back in the 40s by Saturday, so we're looking forward to that. So maybe we'll be taking a small trip somewhere, and we'll get the camera out, and we'll get you some good film from around Appalachia for the weekend. We'll see how that goes. So until tomorrow, Thursday, John and Kaiser would like to wish you the best Thursday ever, or the best Wednesday ever today, and the best Thursday coming tomorrow. And we wish you to stay safe, stay strong, And stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for further information, commentary, and visits around Appalachia. God bless. Bye-bye.